And away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he spun. They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck.
There we go. That actually helped if I unmuted myself. Welcome everyone to race number 4 of 10 in Hungary tonight for our F1 PC division. In the booth with me tonight is Biggles. Biggles, welcome back to the booth. It's been a while since we've had you.
It has been a while. Thank you very much for the invite there. So it's yeah, it's unfortunate there'll be no Cosmo, I believe. Just I'll be trying to step up.
Yeah, definitely. Always appreciate having you. So we are a little behind schedule as it is, so let's go ahead and get right into the wrap-up for the race. For the Williams teams, we have Sejoss and Becky B, both drivers, having been on pole this season already. Highest finish for Sejoss is second. Becky B has been able to pull out the win. Ruda and Rogue are both of our drivers for AlphaTauri. Nice third place finishes for each of the drivers so far this season. Cream and Getchum. Cream finishing first already, having one pole position last week as well. Getchum finishing best finish in 7th. For Renault, we've got Double OT and Capita Hood. Alfa Romeo, we've got Clean Shelby and Andre Pato. Andre Pato has been exiting the league as of last week. So if you'd like to see your name there instead, go to PPResports.com and hop on and get on the Discord. We'll get you a chance to try out for some action on track or possibly in the booth, depending on what your preference is. Red Bull, we've got Stoney and Shay B. Shay B with a fantastic finish last week. First podium in maybe a couple of seasons yet, but putting some great points on the board for Red Bull. For Mercedes, we've got Thierry and Dr. McShorty. Both drivers have been able to get it inside the top 10 so far this season, but they need a little more oomph, if you will, to get them over that line into the top 5. McLaren, we've got Shazam and Red Hornet. Racing Point, we've got OVOFNW, highest finish is 4th as of last week, and Mach Speed, highest finish 17th so far. We'll see if he can't do a little better this evening. Javier and Chazaraz Gabi, there it is, for Haas, also known as Chaz. And we are at the Hungaroring tonight. That's 35 laps total, 14 turns, 8 to the right and 6 to the left. About a 1 minute 12.9 is what we're going to be looking at for our target qualifying time. Softs are about 13 laps here. Mediums about 18. Hards are going to be about 22. So we'll see what our drivers end up choosing for the tire strategy. They don't quite have enough, at least according to the standard Pirelli rated times, number of laps, to do quite a soft medium stint, but I think we're going to see a couple of drivers attempt that yet tonight. Seems to be a pretty popular strategy for our drivers, just stretching those tires a little bit further than they're normally willing to go or normally would be looking to go. And seems to be right about on par. Let me go ahead and get my co-commentator Biggles here in the lobby quick. Perfect. Gonna get ourselves set up. Awesome. So a good race ahead of us tonight. I don't think, oh man, did I forget let's see here. I might. No, there they are, the Drivers' Championship. So far, we've got Creamy Johns in first, 56 points. Becky B very close behind with 54. Captain Hood a little ways down with 35. Shay B and Rogue only a few points apart at 28 and 25 respectively. Sejoss and Double OT 6th and 7th. Ruda and OVO FNW, their points, FNW's points actually aren't right. I've got to get that fixed for next week. Andre Pato with 10 points. Chaz 8 points Getchum and Stoney both with 6. Thierry and Shazam both with 4. Dr. McShorty with 3. Red Hornet with 2. Clean Shelby with 1. And Mock Speed and Javier both have yet to score points. So hopefully they're able to get some points on the board tonight. Constructors Championship. Williams is in front with 73 points. Ferrari in second, not too far back with 62 points. Renault with 51 points in third. AlphaTauri 40 points in fourth. Red Bull 34 points in fifth. Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Haas, McLaren, and Mercedes all very close. 13 points for Racing Point and 6 points for McLaren, bringing up the rear. So a lot of opportunity for position switching, especially in the bottom 5 Constructors Championship teams, but certainly a lot of racing left to go. 6 races left after tonight, so 7 races total, including tonight, obviously, and shaping up to be a pretty good season. We've seen some good action on track so far, but now might be the chance to mention a giveaway we're doing tonight. So tonight's giveaway is actually going to be for Assetto Corsa for the PC. It's a Steam key that we've so graciously been gifted. That's going to be Assetto Corsa, but not only are you going to get Assetto Corsa, you're going to get Dream Packs 1, 2, and 3. You're going to get the Ferrari 70th Anniversary Pack, the Ready to Race Pack, and the Triple Pack. So all of those are going to be available. If you don't have any of those DLCs, feel free to enter, because if you do redeem the code, you obviously won't get a second copy of the game, but what you will get is all of the DLCs added to your account. So that is keyword race. Go ahead and drop that into the chat. It's spelled regularly. Case does not matter. Just go ahead, type race into the chat if you'd like to win the copy of Assetto Corsa that we have. Remember, it's for PC only, so it's a Steam key. But again, that's Assetto Corsa with 5. Well, I guess if you count each of the Dream Packs as a separate one, you have 3, 4, 6 DLCs. So yeah, pretty good deal if you ask me, especially considering all you have to do is wait around until the podium. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to the track with some of our drivers. Looks like the first one out of the pits is going to be a Renault, and that's going to be Capita Hood. Going to be the first one to set down a fastest lap time. Now, Biggles, for Hungaroring, I don't know how much, you haven't had much time to study up, so if you want to defer the question, let me know. But with Hungaroring, what do you think our drivers have to look out for at a track such as this one tonight?
Oh, hello, welcome in, and that's fantastic too about that Assetto competition that's going on there for this. So I'd make sure that you guys get that race slapped into that Twitch, as you said, towards the end of the race there, because that's a fantastic package. Back to Formula One. Hungaroring. Well, it's kind of got like those S's as well. Those S's that can be very similar to Suzuka, and obviously your Beckett's, Maggots, and Chapel in Silverstone. So that's your turns 6 and 7, and they're followed by some sweeping 8, 9, and 10 and 11. So that is the sector 2. That's the sector I think that will be the make or break situation really on the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of, the chicane of 6 and 7 that starts the sector, and then, pretty close to starts the sector, and then 8, 9, and 10 are really going to be a challenge for our drivers. Let's go ahead and ride along with Capita Hood as he takes us on our first lap around turn number 1. He is on the medium, so keep in mind he may not have as much grip as some of our other drivers on track. Turn number 2 here. The hairpin to the left keeps it relatively well planted, maybe a little bit of understeer on the exit. Down the straight between turn 3 and 4, not a DRS straight. This is going to keep that one closed for the time being. Left-hand turn around turn number 4, hairpin to the right around 5, and he's entering that sector 2 that we were talking about. So here comes the chicane of 6 and 7. Feeds that quite nicely. Careful not to take too much curb. Those sausage curbs on the middle can unsettle your car quite easily. And it is definitely something our driver's going to have to look out for. Wow, a little bit of, I think that was lag there, because it seemed like his car just moved straight sideways. Going around turn number 11 now, so it's purple sector 2, as you would expect, first driver around the track. Halfway through the third sector, rounding the hairpin at turn number 13 can be tricky. If that wasn't tricky enough, he's got another hairpin to the right for turn number 14. He's going to put it back on the main straight, going to put his foot to the floor. Across the line goes 1:15.6, his first one to set a time. Next across the line is going to be a Williams, I believe, of Seajoss. Yes, he goes faster yet with a 1:13.4. 115.7. Double OT sets his time with a 115.4. Plenty of time to be made up for some of the drivers here. Becky B goes second fastest, 114.5. Fasting times are just starting to roll in. Getchum back on the track after her hiatus last week, setting a 115.5. I'm not going to be happy with that on the soft tires. I imagine he's going to try for another hot lap, at least one more. I don't know if it's be on this set, but he certainly is going to be trying to post a faster time than that.
Exactly. And staying off those that white chicane of death, I like to call it. That's that one on turn 5 there. If you get that wheel up there, there's also that white chicane of death, I believe, when you go around to 13 as well. If you get that wheel too much up on there, the rear end lifts off, and then back, you've got no grip once you hit the lab pedal. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's all right. Definitely. One of the things it's very tricky, especially in a Formula 1 car, is those traction zones, right? I mean, the number of hairpins on this track, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so hairpins. I mean, that's more than you would typically see in your average, beauty parlor. But still, it's really tricky for these drivers. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. I think the AlphaTauri of Javier just went maybe straight off the track. No, I don't know. Oh, no, AlphaTauri of, I actually don't know who that was. That looked interesting there. I don't know if that'll be something for the stewards to take a look at after the race or not. But yes, these traction zones are going to be extremely tricky for our drivers. And I think that's one of the things that when we start getting into tire strategy, softs being 13 laps, mediums being roughly 18, and the hards being about 22, I think that's going to be one of the things that we start to see our drivers struggle with are these traction zones. Getting the power to the tarmac with such... I guess with so much speed that they can get the acceleration that they need down the straights, especially the main straight, but not so much that they start to spin those tires. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for some of these drivers tonight. There's no doubt about that. Let's see here. All right. This is...
Yeah, invalidations as well. That's another key thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those tricky circuits, kind of like Austria and a few of the others in the Formula 1 calendar, where it's easy just to get penalized when you run wide. At the moment, drivers are doing it because they're pushing out there, obviously getting that first banker lap in and pushing the limits there. So if they got a good time in, obviously, as you saw there, Joss got a really good time in there. Only one to break into the 13s. Will they break into the 12s that you'd mentioned there in the pre-show there? 12.9. Late 12s would be the benchmark. But yeah, first of all, you got to get a lap in. That's okay with the boys up in the FIA race control because you'll get penalized.
Yeah, speaking of, Stoney there just invalidated his, luckily, out lap. So he's setting up for a hot lap right now, trying to get all the heat he needs into those tires at the moment. Going to be going through Sector 3 as it stands. Going to be ready to warm up those tires, trying to keep them all stuck to the ground, but not too hot here. Comes around the last hairpin. Is going to send it down the main straight, put his foot to the floor, get all of the acceleration he can, slam open that DRS wing, and begin the long run down to turn number 1 to begin his hot lap. Let's see, in round turn number 1, looking nice and tidy. Clips just as much of the curb as you would expect he needs to. Is going to come around next turn number 2. Nice and tidy through there, but is it going to be enough to get him up into, I think Stoney would be very happy with a top 10. Not saying Stoney doesn't have the pace to go higher than that, but just consistently where he's been at on the grid, I think 10 is a realistic goal for him. Let's see if he's able to get into the top 10. Right now, he should be able to, just has to beat out his teammate Shea B with a 115.9. We know he's got it in him, but we'll see if he can do it. Goes through Sector 2 here. Looking nice and planted from the Red Bull driver here. Clean Shelby, 115.9, goes 10th fastest. Oh, looks like he invalidated his lap there. You can tell the track in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen goes red. Typically indicates a invalid lap. We'll see him go, not into the pits. He's going to go ahead and go around. He's either got enough fuel to go around again, or he didn't realize that he invalidated his lap. Let's see as he crosses the line. Yeah, Stoney's not going to set a time there. Invalidated that lap, but he's going to get another crack at it. Plenty of time left in the session. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go, to be exact. Plenty of time to get another time on the board.
Who's lighting up the timing boards right now is the man that's already got provisional pole at the moment. So he's got fastest first sector, fastest middle sector. If he could just make this work without invalidating, he could be the very first man into the 112s this evening. looking blisteringly quick right now. That Williams driver about to cross the line here. So avoids taking too much time. There it is, 113.2. So he's getting closer. Look at that, 8 tenths quicker than anybody else at the moment.
Yeah, nice lap from him there. 130. Yeah, getting closer to that 112.9, and that was actually where I was pulling the time from. It was time trial, so I wouldn't expect necessarily us to be quite that fast, but appearing looking at the driver here, Sejoss already at a 113.2. Yeah, he only has about 3 tenths to go to get to that 112.9. So I think he might be able to do it. I think other drivers that have a chance, Thierry possibly, Becky B, Getchum's known to be fast. Rogue in the AlphaTauri on his outlap currently has been known to have 1 lap pace as well. So we will definitely see as the session goes on here. Let's see.
Becky B's coming around the final corner. The other Williams driver. What can he do? He's lifted off, actually. He's lifted. He didn't want to commit to that lap there. So we'll see what he's going to do. Yes, there's rain. Somebody's mentioning rain. Yes, there is rain. The rain is coming, but it will be too late at the end of the session. But the track, you'll see it get overcast in about 8 minutes' time, really. Whether or not the track temperature is 32 degrees Celsius. So we'll drop. No doubt. Will that affect the rest of the qualifying towards the end? I'm not quite sure, because the track will be rubbing in a little bit. So it might not, but whether it'll be rain for the race tomorrow, if anybody can let us know on the Switch world about that one. We don't get the weather report, do we, mate Kermit, until race day. Oh, and there it is from Becky B, actually. He hit that white curb of death. And that will be the turn 5-1. And now he has to wait for all the traffic to go past. But still got plenty of time to get back in the pits. Get some new boots on and try it all over again.
Yeah, turned around there, gets it going the right way around right before the racing point of, I believe that's Mach speeds coming down the turn here. Gonna try for another lap here. I don't know if it'll be on the same side of tire. Gaslight already flashing for Becky B. Presumably gonna have to go in for a new set of tires. So we'll see what driver is able to start challenging the top positions next. We've got, let's see, that's 2 cars here, the AlphaTauri and the AlphaTauri. No, what is it? Yeah, AlphaTauri. Almost went back to last season to the Toro Rosso. But no, AlphaTauri and the Mercedes here of Dr. McShorty and, let's see, who is that? That looks like Rogue, possibly. Really following each other.
Rogue just got P2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, 113.6.
Yeah, he lit up that third sector. Really nailed it perfectly. Got that down to 4 tenths now from Sejoss. Terry was looking pretty good there as well, but got a little twerky, I think, coming out of the third sector, which he lost a bit of time there, so he could have improved. And that's the Mercedes driver of Terry. So that these guys have got more pace in them this evening, which is good. A few other drivers have invalidated. I mean, a lot of the other drivers are really improving at this point. Not the drivers that are on track anyway. Yeah,
as you were saying, the temperature is going to fall a little bit, but that might be offset a bit by the rubbering in of that track. So we'll see how that goes as we go further on. In the session, rain's going to come a little too late in order to actually affect the session here, unless I guess maybe someone's running a lap, starts it right at the last second. They might get a little affected by the rain, but drivers shouldn't be under too much pressure other than the normal pressure of the clock, which is, in my opinion, pressure enough. Speaking of, we got 5 minutes and 45 seconds left, enough for maybe a couple more laps. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, got a little bit of bad news. I'll let you know if it comes back before the end of the race, but the laptop I'm running the giveaway on is having issues. So there might not be a giveaway tonight, unfortunately, but I'm working on that while also trying to run the stream. So I'll let you know if there is an update to that. So unfortunately, yep, might be time for a new laptop. That's what that tells me.
Oh, no. So it looked like the Getchum there the Ferrari was improving a little bit, but then backed off. So we've seen that from a few of these drivers now, that they're backing off. I don't know why, if they're aware. Obviously that rain, I don't think it's going to affect anything because it's too far away. Track temperature even dropping a little bit, but now this is just a stage where you get to that final 1 lap qualifying, because we're down to under 5 minutes left of qualifying here in Hungary, here in Ppr Esports there. This is round 4 of 10, so we are getting to the business end, obviously, of this championship. You don't let those two guys run away with it at the moment. That's Becky B, and where is the other driver? I can't see at the top of my head. That's
Sejoss up at top?
Sejoss.
Yes.
Yes, those two. Well, the closest to them, obviously, is Capital. So Capital really needs to capitalize at the moment and just get a few race wins under his belt, and then he can bring himself into the championship play.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's not too far behind in the championship. Currently in third, but yeah, he does have a good, 20 or 30 points separating him from the top two drivers of, I believe that was Becky B and Creamy John. So those two.
Creamy John.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Sorry. See, Joss. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Those are ones to keep your eye on. That's definitely, or that's for sure. We got some idiot in the session as well, driving as a reserve tonight in the Alfa Romeo.
Creamy Johns is on a fly lap right now, so let's see who hit the pace. Obviously, he himself there leading this championship at the moment wants to set a statement. He doesn't want to let these other guys get too far up in the grid. You certainly don't want to be starting in the middle on this track. Really, in any track, you don't want to be starting in the middle because, you're going to put your front wings at risk here. So the Ferrari needs to get on the power quickly and early and get a timing lap in and get a second chance if he doesn't get this one right. 26.5 first sector. He is 2/10 really down at the moment. It's not going to cut it if you want to be on the front row this evening. You're going to have to pull some magic out of that Ferrari. He's really, really fighting it. Really giving it everything he got. You can just see the way he's turning in on the car. Is responding a little bit and a little out of responding there too much there. So that's an invalidation. Going to have to get back into the pits and do it again.
Yeah, unfortunate for Creamy Johns there. He's got maybe just enough time to get a new set of tires on and get another lap in. 1 minute 13 among the quicker lap times on the calendar, but certainly not the quickest. Still, yeah, enough time. He's got to get in. The animations are really what's the killer. I mean, you're going to spend a solid 30, 40 seconds in the animations just watching the team try and get your car back on the stilts, get it back into the garage. Let's see, Becky B right now getting ready for a hot lap. He's going to try and take us back to the top of the podium. We know he's got the pace, or has had the pace in the past, rather. We'll see if he's able to do it again today.
The other Ferrari Gitcham at the moment going fast there. I was going to say there was somebody else there. That's Shaz. Shaz is starting his lap. That's Shaz. You nailed that one, by the way, too, in the pre-show. I saw that. You finally got his name correctly. I saw you struggling the week earlier on that one. Here we go, getting out of the way in front of somebody from Getcham. Getcham's getting some pretty good pace. Let's have a look at 26.8 middle sector. That's about 2/10 off. The first sector is about 2/10 off there, so he can get. At the moment, he can be breaking about where his teammate is, Creamy Johns. And between Becky B, perhaps, if he crosses the line. What's he going to pull? No. He does not. He lifted off there in the third sector. Oh, who's going fast? Well, at the moment, that will be Becky B. Lighting up timing boards. That's the Williams driver. Fastest first sector. So, when you get two more of those purple times, you're going to be on the top. Oh, that middle sector. It's just 1/10 down. Can still get on the front row here. Going to make this third sector. Make or break situation here. Hook it up. Get the job done. And perhaps get that second row. Oh, he made it work. That's a fast third sector right there. He breaks into the 113.2 there. That's 300 thousandths of a second there. Almost 400 thousandths of a second quicker than his teammate.
Yeah, Williams is set up in a very strong position to take home a lot of points this season. Becky B and Sejoss, both extremely strong drivers on their own, and working together on the same team, they're going to be only able to do that much better. Speaking of teammates, Capital Hood and Double OT are two other drivers that have been extremely close this season, and as I say that, Double T crosses the line, goes fourth fastest with 113.6. Capital Hood crosses the line and is going to start his hot lap. Still gets a chance to catch up to his teammate. Teammate in front of him actually might be giving a little bit of a slipstream. Perfectly legal to do, and actually encouraged to see this kind of sportsmanship and teamwork out on the track. You love to see it. And the two Renault drivers, Double T, you see Double T moves by, lets Capital Hood by, but gave him the slipstream down the main straight, just enough for him to get a nice good time on the board. currently going through the middle S's here. Captain Hood invalidates his lap, is not going to get a chance to set a faster lap. That is where Captain Hood is going to stay at best 6th fastest. He still has a chance to be passed by all of the drivers behind him yet, Creamy John's being one of them. Creamy John's coming through turn number 11 at the moment, goes down the mini straight on the run up to turn number 12.
Yeah, this is it for the Ferrari driver. You're not going to get a second chance now. You want to get up onto that front row. You've got to give it everything you got in this third sector. His first 2 sectors have been okay. They're not going to be something I would have to imagine to steal Becky B's provisional pole away, but he got that second row at least, P3.
Not half bad. Definitely a nice lap from Creamy John's. And there you go. I mean, Creamy John's and Becky B obviously going to be battling for the top spots in the championship, but Captain Hood doing his best to try and challenge them. Puts it 7th on the grid. Is going to be, I don't think he's going to be terribly unhappy with that. That still puts him in play for a lot of the strategy options. Again, we're probably going to be seeing soft medium out of a lot of our drivers. FNW obviously is the only driver locked into the mediums, keeping in mind any driver that starts 10th or better is going to have to start with the tires that they qualified on. So all drivers above 10th starting on the soft tire except for one. You can see that's just an endorsement of how fast these soft tires are. Oh, and just kidding, FNW actually set his fastest time on the softs. So all drivers in the top 10 will be starting on softs. All drivers below will have a chance to start on whatever tire they would like. Becky B takes home the pole position. Joining him on the front row is teammate C. Joss, Creamy Johns and Rogue in the second row, Double OT and Thierry in the third. Captain Hood and FNW in 7th and 8th. Javier and Clean Shelby in 9th and 10th. Rounding out our top 10 there as our drivers go ahead and set up for the... All right, let's see. Trying to get into Nightbot right now.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because really now, not quite sure what the team orders are at play in Williams, but obviously with Becky B leading the championship, his teammate can offer that buffer zone to Creamy because Creamy will be starting that 3rd position. And obviously Creamy wants to win the race. He's going to get through Becky B's teammate, which will be an interesting. So they can cover each other off. I think at the moment the Williams could control the pace here of this, but that's also going to come down to a strategy call because if they line astern here and use that DRS tow after lap 3, if we do get after lap 3, obviously pending barring safety cars, etc., then they will have to also look at who gets the first pit stop call as well, because you'll be double stacking. Pit stop around here is about 22 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and head off on our formation lap. Drivers are going to have to, try and anticipate what they can throughout the race here. One of those things being, like you said, safety cars that can throw a wrench into the works as far as strategy goes for a lot of our drivers. Some it'll benefit and some it'll hurt. I know a lot of our drivers, or at least a couple drivers, and actually let's get that up on the screen here. Let's take a look at what tires everyone's running. Mock Speed and Some Idiot both decided to start on the hards. Other than that, 13th through 17th decided to start on the mediums. That's Shay B, Stoney, Dr. McShorty, Shabam, Red Hornet, and Mock Speed all starting on that medium tire, deciding that might be just slightly better. So what they're going to be looking for, medium speed or medium tire runners, is some sort of safety car around probably somewhere after lap 7, but before lap 14. So between 7 and 14, our medium runners are really going to be wanting a safety car. If it's going to happen, they want it in that window so they can stay out, still take full advantage of their medium tires, but then almost force the soft runners to pit behind them. So again, I mean, that may not be the right call to stay out on your mediums if all the soft runners are coming in for a fresh set of tires, but it certainly gives you a little cleaner air to run in, because if you're at that point in the lap or at that point in the race where you're about 7 laps in, then you're going to need a little bit of that extra, I don't know how you want to put it, a little bit of that extra edge with the strategy or that extra pace with those medium tires in order to outpace the people that just pitted for your fresh tires. So we still got quite a bit of strategy yet to play with here. If I don't get the problem sorted with the giveaway by the time the lights are out, we're going to have to forego it until next week. Sorry about that, but we'll go ahead and get that fixed for next week. So I know I promised a bunch of people, I promised during the stream yesterday and last week we get the giveaway done, but unfortunately it's just not going to happen this week. As our drivers go ahead and pull up to the grid, we get 4 lights, then 5. Lights out, and away we go here at Hungary. Becky B is going to be leading the charge down into turn 1. Next is going to be C-Joss in the other Williams car. If Codemasters could give me a good point of view here. There we go. We got Rogue just following up the back. Let's see. Rogue is going to try and jockey for position around the outside. Gets pinched between Creamy Johns and C-Joss. Can't quite get it done. Rogue gets sent around. He goes back sideways, sliding through the grass. Chaz up into 4th. Running on board with Capital Hood right now. Excuse me, Chad not quite in 4th, but Chaz up into the top 10. That's for sure. Chaz gets bumped by Capital Hood. Or gets tangled with Capit Hood, I should say. Has to fall back ever so slightly. Yellow flag. Sector 1 for an AlphaTauri. And a, looks like, Racing Point possibly tangled there. Capit Hood riding on board with right now. FNW is going to pull alongside or pull outside and try to go alongside Double OT, but can't quite get it done. FNW is not going to give up that easily, though. Keeping it stuck right to the back of Double OT. And just in front of Double OT is going to be, it should be Thierry up there. Creamy John's ahead of him. C-Joss still in 2nd and Becky B in 1st. Nice drives from these drivers so far.
I was going to say something is showing a bit weird for me because it's showing Rogue got the AlphaTauri getting past both of them. But because I actually see him on track at the moment on my screen ahead, getting past both the Williams. But I can see there on the Twitch feed there that you're actually showing Becky B ahead of C-Joss there and Creamy John. So as it shows me, Rogue just setting the fastest lap across the line. So yeah, definitely getting some sort of glitch here. Oh, it sorted itself out finally. Rogue is in P4. Yep. It's.
I see him at the back of the grid here. Let's see as he crossed the line. There we go. He's at the back. Yeah, it's something. I can't believe that one hasn't been fixed yet. F1 2020 has been doing that since for months now. I mean, basically 2 months after it came out, it started the lap 3 glitch where the timing board just goes crazy. You can't tell where anyone is, and then it fixes itself next time everyone goes around the start-finish line. I feel like that one. I'm no programmer, but I feel like that one should be relatively easy to nail down. Capital Hood in the Renault there, getting the pass done on FNW into the chicane. Very nice pass from Capital Hood there. FNW might be struggling a little bit. Hard to tell if he's missing some wing or if he's just struggling with some of the grip. Yeah, no, he's got most of his wing there. I don't think that's possibly the issue. The Red Bull of Stoney looking very pacey tonight. Is coming up on the back of Chaz right now. Is going to try and make that pass, I imagine, any moment here. It's looking like he's got it pretty well covered on that medium tire. Stoney up into 9th. A very nice place for him to be, especially on that medium tire. Got to be a good feeling in order to carry that pace on the off-tire compound. Nice job from him to get where he has so far. Going down the main straight. Down around the hairpin. Nice, can't quite, gets close.
It's just hard for me to figure this all out at the moment because I'm still actually seeing Rogue's car on track. I know the telemetry glitch, I've had that before, but I physically see the car on track. It's so difficult to see. Trying to capture out where everything else is and matching it up with what you have there. The telemetry is correct, but seeing these cars not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and I think Rogue was having some connection issues there. Saw the little red X above him when he went backwards onto the grass. Certainly never helps when trying to do a race, especially a league race. Clean Shelby looking pretty quick tonight, too, is coming up on the back of Javier. Javier making a slight mistake over the chicane there. Took a bit much of the sausage curb. You saw his car jump over the sausage curb and lose a little bit of pace. You can see he just went off the side. Javier, yeah, I think, if I remember right, Javier's driving from a pad or a controller.
Keyboard.
What? Really?
You can see he's on keyboard. Yep.
Oh, man.
The way he's driving it. He's got supporters out there on Twitch world too. So hello, como estás from Colombia, Medellin. Been there, beautiful place. But yes, he's on the keyboard. Again, he's practicing obviously with his new wheel, but he gets got to get comfortable with some of the tracks, and obviously doing a fantastic job there. Still, world's fastest keyboard driver as he boxes.
Yeah, that's makes a little sense based on his driving pattern there. You kind of see some of the... Oh, yeah, we still got things moving around here. Yeah, now Rogue up into 18th. Looks like we got a driver in the pits already. That's Javier. Going to be in the pits. Gets a new set of tires. That's a hard tire. Those are ready to go 22 laps. So it'll be a little bit of a stretch to take that to the end of the race, but he might just try. Might get a puncture at that rate, though. Let's see here. Getchum looks like he's awfully close to Chaz at the moment. Let's see if he's going to get this pass done. I think Getchum is going to be eager to get this pass done. We'll see if he's able to do it. Some idiot up into 11th now after starting from last or next to last on the grid, doing well on that hard tire to outpace the rest of the grid. Getchum getting very close to Chaz, letting him know he's there, ready. I imagine, let's see if he doesn't pass him into the hairpin, which is a pretty difficult place to pass unless Chaz makes a mistake. And my guess is he's going to get him either on the straight or down into turn 1. DRS is active, but Chaz will have that too because he's within that 1 second gap from Stoney as the timing boards continue to just wreak havoc. Rogue is now in first according to the timing board, but don't let it fool you. Becky B is actually in first. C. Joss is in third.
So I'm actually looking at, I was just checking Becky B's. He can see Rogue up ahead just like I can.
Really?
On my stream, yeah. But obviously, it's showing him actually on his screen that Rogue is leading the race, which is not.
So maybe
it's showing me that.
Maybe Rogue is leading the race.
Maybe
then.
Rogue is leading this race.
Well, now we got a penalty, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on my screen at least. But at this point, who knows? Wow, that's honestly, I can't believe that. That's
I just went to check his feed, his Twitch there as well, just to confirm it because I was just wondering, and I was like, is that? So it's still occurring. Usually it's gone by then, but yeah, that's definitely a throw a spanner in the mix because whether Rogue actually did get through there, got past all those cars, actually got past Cremmy Johns and C. Joss and Becky B to get up into P1. I think he started on P4 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, very nice from him so far. I wish that showed on my screen. I honestly, I don't even know what to say. I'm pretty disappointed in the game if you can't even keep certain drivers in the correct positions on track. But nothing that we haven't seen before. Not the first time we've been let down by an F1 game, unfortunately. So Rogue appears to be in the correct spot on the timing boards.
Just got overtaken, actually, right there. He has got overtaken by Becky B, but you can't see it, unfortunately. This is just a bit unfortunate. So it looks like Becky B, Rogue now is falling behind Becky B. Will be in the clutches there of C-Joss.
Wow, that is that's something. I don't really even know what to say about that, to be honest. I can't even tell you what's the correct thing that's going on the track. We got another 3-second time penalty from Chaz at this point. I wonder if I take my chances here. Yeah, I wonder, Biggles, are you able to send me another invite? I might back out and try and get in. I mean, if I can't see the battle for first place, I mean, come on.
Exactly. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? A bit of an issue if that's the case. We realize how to do this. I go invite friends. Yeah. I'll wait till I send you an invite first. Just because I have a lot of names to scroll through here.
Yep. Well, that's all right.
Okay, here we go.
All right, perfect. That came in. Just a second while we get this.
And Rogue's boxing, just as you sort that out as well too. So we'll see.
All right, looks like we'll be able to get back in.
You're probably going to come back in and go, "Oh, there he is, not in the lead of the race anymore because he's boxing." So we'll keep an eye. Crabby Johnson's also boxing as well. He was behind him, so that'll be an interesting pit stop call between those two drivers. Looks like a pretty quick job.
Oh, look at that! What a league admin. Creamy Johns just sent me an invite after seeing me leave the room, but that is in an effort to fix the stream here.
He was in the pits too, so it might have been absolutely perfect time for him to be able to do that, which is fantastic. He's dropped back down to P16. Rogue's come back out P13. So Cramy John's lost a bit of time in the pit stop, so he's got a couple of cars between him. Obviously, there was a difference there between Rogue and Cramy Johns, as Rogue boxed a little bit earlier. That means Becky B's got clean air now. You've got past him anyway in the last lap or so. He's got C-Joss there. Terry's doing a good job. Terry going to be putting some pressure there on the back there. Oh, if you can keep within that DRS of C-Joss there. And guess what? Capita Hood now in the back of his team, man. How much of a fight will Double OT put up against his, obviously, his teammate, buddy, that is currently leading the championship? Well, are there going to be team orders at play in the Renault/Alpine team? That'll be interesting because they're both on similar tires at the moment. Who's going to box first? Well, Double OT gets the call, so he's going to box now. C-Joss is boxing. Becky B stayed out. Sorry, my apologies. And Capita Hood did. And Terry, there's your top 3 at the moment as Kermit gets loaded in there, and hopefully we get all this little graphic glitches and so forth sorted out.
Yep, let's see here. Yeah, to address the chat there, Juanchi and Aliens wondering what's going on here. Yeah, it was not showing me one of the race leaders actually on the track, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload in. We'll see if we can't get that fixed just momentarily here. I'm gonna be loading that in. Let's see, here we go. All right, loading in now.
So if you get in there, top 3 at the moment are the soft runners. They've yet to box. That's Becky B, Terry, and Capita. And we got the confirmation that Kermit has now joined us back again. There's Stoney, Some Idiot. Now, Stoney at the moment, 7 laps on those mediums. Some Idiot's up into P5 there on the hard tires. Can go a lot deeper in this race. Shelby in P6 and Dr. McShorty P7. Rogue is the first of the pit stoppers in P8. C-Joss didn't get past Rogue during the pit stop. So it ran. C-Joss boxed 1 lap after Rogue. There you go. We'll see if it loads itself back in there. It looks pretty accurate, I think. Pretty not accurate. Becky B's boxing from leader of this race. Now, has Becky B done enough to get past Rogue? That's going to be interesting. By staying out that extra lap or so, we'll keep an eye out. I'm going to go on board. Rogue has got Dr. McShorty for company, but Dr. McShorty made it. Oh, Dr. McShorty making a huge mishap coming out of the corner as well, and is holding up Rogue. Rogue's not coming down the main straight. And where is Becky B? Becky B sitting in the pits. Becky B exiting the pits now. And you should see Becky B right there. And Becky B has made it work. So look at that.
Nice pit stop from Becky B there. Yeah, now I can see Rogue on track and in the correct position. So just much better. There we go. Rogue with a bit of quite a lockup there into the hairpin behind Becky B. Just trying to really put the pace to the track and make up that position. Some Idiot in first right now, trying to put in a number of laps in the clean air with that hard tire, making the other drivers say, catch up to me. Let's see what you got on that hard tire pace. Maybe I can go faster than you. Of course, we know from last season, Some Idiot, the season 2 champion, obviously has the pace to be at the front of the pack, but it's whether he picked the right strategy. So starting from last, already up into first, already impressive. Of course, keep in mind that he hasn't pit yet. The 2 Red Bull drivers, both on the medium, Stoney and Shay B, not too far behind Some Idiot. I think they're going to be happy with that standing right now if they've been able to follow Some Idiot just up through the pack. But of course, after the pit stop, that may change. They got about 10 laps or so left before they need to start pitting off those medium tires before they start running the risk of a puncture. Well, actually, it might be a few laps more than that before they get a puncture, but that's when you're really going to start to see the pace drop off on those tires. But so far, I think the Red Bull drivers are going to be very happy with their their positions at the moment. Becky B just getting past the other Red Bull driver of Shay B, his teammate Rogue, not his teammate, the AlphaTauri driver Rogue, just behind him, and behind him is Becky B's teammate C-Joss in the other Williams. Dr. McShorty in 7th here.
Yeah, Rogue's got to get past Shelby quickly as well, too. You want to let Becky B get too far up there. He got held up when he came out of the pits by Dr. McShorty, who's still out on track at the moment. That might have made all the difference between whether or not Rogue was going to take the lead of this race or was to let Becky B steal that one back away. Now he is stuck up behind Shelby, and that's helping Becky B get a little bit further down the road there because Becky B has already pulled a 1.6 gap there now over the Red Bull driver. That's going to be frustrating Rogue. And that's also bringing C-Joss into play now because look at that. He has to look in his rearview mirrors because that Williams driver, the teammate of Becky B, is caught up. And this is turning into a little 3-way battle here for Shelby. Is obviously out of position, having still yet to box. But that's compromising both of these drivers.
Nice battle going on right now between the 2 Mercedes driver, Dr. McShorty and Thierry. They are no team orders at the moment. They are battling. Thierry, I think, has the pace, but we've got the Renault driver getting involved as well. Thierry sends it up the inside. The two drivers touch. It's going to leave a window open for the Renaults. One Renault driver gets by. Two get by, but one goes off into the grass. Captain Hood's got to keep it together in order to not wipe out them all. The Ferrari driver gets in the mix. Captain Hood goes around the outside, around turn number 2. Let's see if he's able to keep it together. Captain Hood getting into the 9th position solidly, but Dr. McShorty's going to take the fight back to him. Gets his wing in there. Captain Hood squeezes him, has to run wide. Captain Hood leaving him just enough room, but I'm sure Dr. McShorty's not going to be very happy about that. Dr. McShorty falling back to 11th. Double OT now still leaves him free to try and challenge the Mercedes driver of Thierry. Is going to be right on the back of him. Still a little bit of pace to make up yet. 0.6 seconds behind Thierry. But coming up to a DRS zone down the main straight, I think he's going to get a chance to do that overtake into turn number 1. Some fantastic action on lap number 11 of our race tonight. Let's see, as the Renault driver crosses the second to last hairpin, goes through the last turn here, is going to cross the start finish line, but the real important thing is watch that back flap as he crosses the DRS line. He's going to open it up. Let's see, as he starts to close that gap to Thierry. Wow, Thierry really putting on the afterburners there, getting super far ahead. Captain Hood with the late braking. You can see him behind Double OT there, made up what seemingly a lot of position. Captain Hood having some connectivity issues as well. At this point, it might be on my end or the server end. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'll check on the Capital Hood there because I was keeping an eye on the battle there between the CJOS and Rogue as well. But that battle you were keeping an eye on was fantastic. And you got the Codemaster's luck with that helicopter cam during practically most of that lap as well too. So that was a fantastic angle to see all those cars battling it out. Isn't this great? Yeah, Capital Hood at the moment is showing me that he is in the race. So perhaps it's just a little bit of a glitch. It looks like he's in control of that car quite well. Trying to keep up with his teammate there, Double OT there. We've got Cremmy Jums obviously on the back of him for company big time. That's swarming into another battle here this evening. Lots of different squabbles on track as you'd expect here for the PC Division 1. The best of the best guys here for Ppr Esports Racing. Yeah, a bit of a huge DRS train forming actually. Looks like behind Shelby now because he's on the 11 lap tires. These guys have all made their pit stops. They've got some fresh boots and now they're all getting held up.
Where does... Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, Shelby leading that train. Thierry goes up the inside. Is going to get that pass down around turn number 1. Double OT fancies his chances as well. He's going to stick his wing in there. Possibly gets a little wing damage, as it were. Captain Hood is actually going to get by possibly as well. Try to follow Double OT through the gap there. Is going to now take the inside around the next turn. Renault driver gets the position done. Captain Hood going to be trying for the pass next. Pulls alongside the Red Bull driver. Gets the pass done. Double OT and Captain Hood, the two Renault drivers, now in 7th and 8th. Creamy Johns gets his chance to make the pass as well. Shay B getting absolutely mobbed on lap number 13.
If that doesn't tell you to pit, what does? Because that's just like how many positions lost? That's 4. That's 4 to 3. And yeah, even a little bit of a tap on the back there. Caught Creamy Drums coming out. Lucky Creamy Drums didn't get any damage there as a little bit of a tap on the back of that Red Bull, because the Red Bull's way out of position there. Definitely struggling with those tires. Definitely needs to pit right now. Get in there. Can't be losing that much time, even though maybe electing to try to go straight to softs. Could be a tall order.
Might be. I mean, if they're anticipating a 2-stopper from a lot of the other drivers, which, I mean, I've got to say, not a whole lot of the pits are indicating that to me right now. I mean,
always boxing. Yeah.
Anyone on hards that are 6 laps or newer at this point is going to be running to the end of the race on those tires. Still a fair share of drivers that need to pit. Stoney has a lot of pace right now, and it's going to be a matter of whether he is going to be able to outpace his teammate or not. Oh, there we go. Stoney may be foregoing the pit stop in order to let his teammate Shay B go into the pits and get a new set of tires. Some idiot, of course, has yet to pit as well, currently leading the race on that hard tire with those 13 laps on them. No other drivers seemingly being able to close that gap. Becky B might have a chance here, especially with the DRS activation from Stoney, the Red Bull driver ahead, might be able to pick up those few precious tenths, because Becky B really wants to stay within roughly a 20-second window if some idiot's going to fall back behind him once he decides to pit. But I don't think a pit is going to be coming up very soon for some idiot at all. It's going to be
Stoney's boxing.
There he is.
So Should be boxed and should be able to fix the front wing too. That was a 26.6 second pit stop. 22 is what you want in and out here. 22 is should be what Stoney will get. And as you'd mentioned there, so yeah, at the moment, if somebody was to box, he would come out roughly where between Capital, well, Creamy John's, behind Creamy John's, ahead of his teammate. I think he would be on the cusp. He's very close to his teammate, actually. Sorry, not his teammate, Stoney. Getting all confused as the positions are changing because of the pit stops.
Creamy John's still hot on the tail of Capita Hood as they round turn number 2. Creamy John's going to get that DRS activation, well, back on the main straight. No DRS activation to be had for the rest of this lap effectively, but I don't think that's going to stop him. You can see him eagerly trying to find that door. It's a matter of whether Capita Hood is going to allow for enough space for him to get his nose in there or not. Capita Hood been a pretty aggressive defender this season, has, I think, really picked up a lot from our ACC series, which is, you know, it's a slightly different car, but the racing principles are the same. Just a little touchier in Formula One here. A lot less contact can happen between these cars before damage is sustained. GT3 cars, of course, a little more durable, but still quite a sight to see, especially when you got 35 drivers on track like we did this last Sunday, or yesterday, actually, if you will. Creamy John still hot on the tail. Capita Hood is going to get the DRS activation down the main straight. We'll see if he's able to get that done. He's got the DRS flap open, is closing ground on Capita Hood quite quickly. It looks like he's going to get pretty much all the way past him before he even starts to turn in. Yeah, the Ferrari driver is going to get that.
And an overtake for P3, sorry, as well at the same time, but they haven't done it yet. Rogue and Seajoss battling it out there side by side through what appears to be turn 1 and 2. They're going to be climbing up the hill here. Rogue still covering him off. You're going to have to lift through there, Seajoss. He will. There was somebody in the chat there, Funky Cactus, was saying somebody is waiting for a safety car. Well, guess what? We haven't had a safety car or even a virtual safety car yet. All 19 drivers on the grid and some good wheel-to-wheel action.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to say it's a little surprising, but it's not, not entirely surprising, right? For a couple of reasons. First, we've got the track that we're at, not a whole lot of walls that are extremely close to the circuit. Obviously, when you're in a Formula One car going over 200 miles an hour, all walls are maybe too close for comfort. However, a lot of these drivers have been starting to get into the groove of the league race. They've seen these drivers. First of all, they've seen a lot of the drivers that are around currently week after week because their pace is just that close. But furthermore, you start to see a lot of these drivers just pick up on those things that you are and are not supposed to do around other cars, because it's really a skill, right? Is where do you put your car, when do you put your car there, and you know, what are the best opportunities? Once you start getting familiar with the teammates, or excuse me, the opponents, these other drivers around you, you know, kind of how they take turns, what racing lines they generally use, it becomes a little bit easier to start battling them cleanly on track. You know, you're able to predict their actions ever so slightly more than you otherwise would be able to. Rogue right now doing a fantastic job of keeping Seajoss behind him, just has the corners covered, putting his car right where he needs to. Seajoss obviously losing a lot of pace after the end of the last battle, but not giving it up just yet. Is still going to try and bring the fight back to him as they enter sector 3. He's going to try and take advantage of the DRS going down into turn number 1 again, but it seems like Rogue has had his ERS and ERS pretty well ready to go to cover off any attacks that Seajoss can throw at him. Let's go ahead and take a look at the point of view of Seajoss here. Right on board with him. You can see he's just planted. He's just fixated right on the back of Rogue there. Rogue running a little wide. That might give Seajoss enough of a run to get by him turn number 1. You can tell Rogue maybe harvesting there. But there you go. Seajoss is going to pull alongside. Can't quite get the pass done. AlphaTauri is going to stay inside. Rogue is going to try and battle him as we see a camera shot of basically blank space. The William comes out in front. Seajoss now up into third, but Rogue is certainly still in contention for that podium spot. Certainly gonna not give that up yet. Seajoss running a great race so far. Showed that he might have had a little more pace than Rogue after being behind him for so many laps. Let's see if he's able to increase that gap. as Shabam goes into the pits, is going to get off those medium tires and onto the hard, is presumably going to run those to the end of the race. Got a number of drivers on hards that I don't think will make it to the end of the race all the way. Among them, Mach Speed and possibly Javier. That's going to be a tall ask of his tires. Some idiot, of course, not the least among them, that is going to have to pit for a new set of tires before the end of the race. I mean, even Rogue, he's got to go almost another 20 laps on those. Well, not quite, but almost another 20 laps on those hard tires, and I think that's really going to push the end of their life. So we'll see some of these hard compound tires start to turn into softs probably around I guess it'll be right around lap 25, because that's when you can start taking the soft tire all the way to the end of the race. But my guess is you're not going to want to do any less than probably 6 laps on that soft tire at the end of the race in order to take full advantage of the pace difference that they have, because it's certainly quite significant once you start looking at just what these tires are able to do as far as grip, and then how our drivers are able to actually respond to that. Shea getting past Mach Speed just now. Nice pass from the Red Bull driver there on similar, well, same compound tire, but definitely different lights.
I was going to cut you off there. It looks like Double OT's caught really back on Terry. That's Terry in P5 at the moment. Double OT's been gaining a lot of time there, as well as Creamy Johns is now formed up at the back now of Double OT. So that's going to be a good battle here. Terry's not liking these tires for some reason. Maybe a little bit of an issue coming out one of the corners. I'm going to overcook those tires a little bit. That allowed Double OT to catch him. Now the DRS train is going to form between those 3 drivers. Yeah, you'd mentioned somebody still has to box, as well as there was another driver that's P15. Mach Speed have to box there as well. But yeah, can they itch them out to make those softs go to the end? That could be well worth it. Somebody, if he does box, he's going to come out just behind his teammate. Where Capita is, that'll be a good little battle between himself there and Capita Hood. So we've seen those guys battle it out before in the past, haven't we?
Absolutely.
So let's see what's going to happen here. But this battle, a big lockout out there from Terry. You can see he does not like these hard tires at the moment, even though they're still pretty fresh. He's just, you know, some drivers just like some of those tire compounds, and Double OT locking up as well. Trying to keep up there in the dirty air. With what we just had, we're over the halfway point, so still got another good 1/3 or so of racing here.
Absolutely. 15 laps left to go. Still certainly a lot of action left to be had, especially with a lot of our drivers so close. Not least among them Rogue, Terry, and Double OT still battling it out on track. Creamy John's getting ever closer to Double OT. We'll see if he's able to get that pass done when he gets into the DRS range. Double OT maybe starting to make a few mistakes as the gap between him and Thierry widens, but Creamy John's falling back ever so slightly as well. Double OT having a lot of lockups into some of these hairpins here. Not necessarily an immediate threat to his pace, but if he does that too much, it's really going to wear a lot off of the tire and not really allow him to, I guess, get what he needs to done. Well, in particular, it's going to rub a lot of the pace off of the tire by the end of the race. Wow, Creamy John's really falling back. Double OT starting to close that gap ever so slightly to Thierry. Definitely in DRS range. Just broken DRS, actually, to Creamy John's. He's going to be happy about that.
Mach Speed's off. He's had a collision, I think, with Javier. It might have looked like as Javier's out of this race. That was turn 5. That might have been on the. There's Javier parked on the side of the road. So I think those two have come together, and that Racing Point has cooked its tires, and he's not a happy camper right there.
Now you can tell he's really struggling to try and keep the car under him. It's basically driving on ice when the tires are that hot. You can see he's got to take it really slow for probably the next whole sector, but he's got to be careful not to get too in the way of the Red Bull that's coming. You can see, there we go. Yeah, those tires are just skating across the track surface.
He needs the drink. He needs to cool those tires down at the moment. You know, got to get back on the track there. Get out of everybody's way. We got a couple of drivers coming around. They're pretty spread out well on the track as well. Like, most drivers are in all sectors at the moment, pacing around. So got to still finish it. Yeah, man, he's definitely not having fun.
No, he's just trying to get back to the pits at this point, get a new set of tires to get him cooled off, get him right on the back of Chaz. Is going to take that fight to him. Chaz actually goes into the pits just as I thought we might see a little tension on the racetrack here. But of course, Thierry, Double OT, and Creamy John still running pretty close together. You'd think they're doing it intentionally just by how evenly spaced they are. But I know for one, they are not. And they've got to be getting pretty anxious to start making some passes. Thierry might be under a little less pressure than the other two. Of course, Thierry doesn't have any time penalties as of yet. However, he's got to keep his head on his shoulders, make sure he doesn't pick any up before the end of the race. Otherwise, that could spell disaster for his finishing position here. Chaz comes out of the pits basically on top of the Red Bull driver of Shea B. Chaz is going to get ahead and work himself just in front of the train that is Shea B, Clean Shelby, and Red Hornet. All three drivers have the chance for DRS down the straight, but they're not going to get that back until Sector 1. So all drivers have to do it based on just the slipstream right now. We'll see if they can do it. I think medium tire is a pretty good choice at this point in the race. I mean, it's... Whoa! That was the... Oh, it's still the Racing Point of Mach Speed there, going through a timing board on his way... There we go. Now he's retired. So retired on track. Stewards always look at those. They're going to take a look at that after the session.
Creamy John's got past Double OT, I think. Did he finally get the move done? I think yes, he did. It looks like Rogue and Seajoss are also battling it out there. No, Seajoss has come off. Seajoss has come off the track somewhere.
There he is. Yeah, you can see he just got passed by our trio of Thierry, Creamy Johns, and Double OT. Seajoss, yeah, down into 7th. Doesn't take him out of points contention for today.
Damage.
Ooh.
He's got front wing damage. That's the reason why he's going to have to go nurse that back to the pits there. And that's quite a long way now because he's only in Sector 2. And these guys are all bunching up pretty much exactly at what you'd mentioned there before. Shiraz was very lucky to get out just ahead of that train, otherwise would have compromised him. He should be able to. He's already got that gap up anyway at 2.5 seconds on fresh mediums. So Some Idiot, I was actually saying, still was doing some pretty good pace as well too. He's in the that was in the early 1:18, so he's still matching fairly good pace actually to Becky B's. A little bit quicker, obviously, you'd imagine, with some tires, but not that much. And now Becky B doesn't have a teammate to cover him off anymore as well to come and play. So, oh, Becky, if somebody could bring the softs towards the end of this race, if he still has this pace, he can certainly go a little bit longer.
Yeah, Becky B a little hung out to dry as far as teammate help goes. Some Idiot still has chosen not to pit at the moment as Seajoss decides to go into the pits. But yeah, Some Idiot, if he pits right now, is going to come out probably in 3rd, possibly between Rogue and Terry, maybe even behind, Capita Hood, I guess, if his pit stop doesn't go too well. But yeah, I suppose, there's a lot left to be decided. But he
just said a fastest middle sector. Sorry to cut you off. He just said the fastest middle sector. He's responding to your call there. He wants to build that gap up, I think, exactly that pit stop. He can come out P4. He can get right where Creamy Jums is. Now, if he could got to put some bankers in, this is going to be a thrilling end to this race coming up soon.
FNW and Chaz battling it out. FNW just behind Chaz at the moment, but he's going to try and get that pass done. Let's see where they at. Just exiting Sector 1. We'll see if he can get it done at the end of the main straight here. He's not quite close enough to make a move immediately, but he's slowly but surely getting into that range, only 7/10. But he's going to come under a lot of pressure from Seajoss here, as Seajoss just pulls right up to the back of FNW and is going to try and pass him in the chicane here, probably on the exit. Not going to quite get it done, but you can tell Seajoss is eager to get going. He knows he's got the pace on those fresh medium tires. Is just looking for any place to pass. FNW not making it easy for him, that's for sure. He's going to pull alongside into Sector 3 here. The right-hander, he's going to take the inside. Seajoss gets it done. FNW has to float wide ever so slightly, but Seajoss is just going to start to slowly pull away with the extra grip he has in those fresh tires.
Taking candy from a baby, I always say, really, at the end of the day, not too much any drivers can do about that. 15-lap hards versus fresh out of the blanket mediums. Even the bestest of drivers did hold him up as a little bit longer than probably what Seajoss wanted, so that had played into FNW's favor a little bit, but he's not in this battle at the moment. Seajoss is looking ahead, and we'll see if Seajoss can get that 1.4 second gap down to Shaz, that is on the same tire. Shaz was only a couple more laps older, but there's similar pace on the tire compound, as Dr. Mashorty is boxing from the last place to put softs on. So the first of the drivers here this evening to put the softs on for the second stint of this race. That's going to be an indication, I think, to Some Idiot leading this race still. And some idiot was the fastest man on the track too in the last lap. Can you believe that? And still going pretty impressive on his times.
Oh, absolutely. 25 laps on those hards. That's 3 laps over the window that it's recommended. So they still have quite a bit of, well, life left in them, apparently. At least for some idiot. Just, the smoother you can be on your inputs, the better. And he's known to be pretty smooth on his inputs.
Seajoss just caught the back of Shaz just in that time that we've been talking, because he is the fastest middle sector. He's loving these new tires, but he does not love seeing the rear view wing of that Haas. And I think it's only a matter of time to get past, as you can see. Fastest lap, and yes, it is down the main straight. That's obviously too Haas driver with some fresh tires. That goes to show you the pace that Seajoss has, but he's back in P10. He's not where he wanted to be starting this race.
No, absolutely not. He would have liked to be up where he was before, up in that top 5, but just making it back into the point scoring positions. That means his fastest lap, if it sticks, is going to gain him the extra point. Every point counts, especially when your championships are this close. That's the fastest Sector 1 for Seajoss.
I don't know if it'll stick, but because you can imagine how quick some idiot's going to be once he comes out, once he makes his mandatory pit stop, which he has to, obviously, and put some fresh boots on, because if he's doing 118s on 26 lap tires, imagine what he's going to do with some fresh tires.
Oh, absolutely. Still got a lot of pace left, apparently. 26 laps on those hard tires, and riding along, let's see, you can start to tell, he's getting a lot of understeer through the corners, but just having those smooth inputs is really helping out. You can tell he just holds the lock on the understeer, lets the front end of the car come the rest of the way around, lock up from the inside there, and then just eases on the throttle. But he's putting himself in a vulnerable position, especially with that time penalty he's got. Faked us out there. Looked like he might have gone into the pits for a new set of tires, but not quite yet. 26 laps, 27 now done on the hards for some idiot. We're on to lap 28. He's going to want to pit soon, otherwise he's not going to have enough time to actually take advantage of the pace that those soft tires offer. He just doesn't have enough time on track or enough laps to be run in order to really take advantage of that. So I imagine he's going to want to pit pretty soon here.
He's right. Well, Rogue at the moment is now holding up Terry and Creamy. So that's going to play into his favor. I think perhaps he's talking to Jeff and his engineers and trying to work out his deltas on that, because he wants to get in and out of that pits and keep around that bubble of the pit stop, 20, anywhere between 20 to 22 seconds. And that's where currently Rogue is right now in P3. So that's maybe what he's playing on his game here, to see how long Rogue could possibly hold up these guys and then come back out. Or does he want to come back out ahead of that battle, or does he want to be stuck behind it?
I think that's what he'd rather do, is be ahead of that battle, but he's pretty close. He's got 21, almost 21 seconds in hand ahead of Rogue, so he might be able to pit just into second here, only allowing Becky B to overtake him. And Becky B at this point is on the relatively old hard tire.
Here we go. So this is it. This is the call. This has got to be the pit stop of the century. The team have to be spot on. Well, they always are in the game, but we could build excitement anyway, can't we? So he wants to get this down on around a 22, 21 second, and we'll keep an eye on every of these other drivers coming around. Now,
see Becky B just coming through the final.
Keep an eye on Rogue. Here we go. It's going to be close. Yeah. He might have this. Rogue's down the main straight. He's exiting the pits. It's going to be really close. There he is. He has come out just ahead of Rogue. That's worked brilliantly for that strategy call. And guess what? He's got the softest tires on. Oh, even Rogue gets twitchy coming out of that corner. Now, next on some idiot's hit list will be Becky B. Can he get 12 seconds off Becky B in, what are we looking at, 6 laps? I wouldn't say it's impossible.
2 seconds a lap, though, is a tall order, especially when you're trying to catch up to someone like Becky B. I know some idiot, our defending champion, or reigning champion, defending champion from Season 2, has quite a bit of pace, but 2 seconds closed on Becky B is still going to be a very tall order for the stand-in Alfa Romeo driver.
That was a perfect pit stop. That was a 20.64 pit stop. That's probably the quickest pit stop I've seen in the game there. It's a 2.6 seconds to slap the tires on. That doesn't change. But the in and out does. So he nailed that timing perfectly to the brake line. Didn't speed. And a 20 seconds has helped him just squeeze out ahead of P3. As once again, you do want to be in that train right now, because you either would have been ahead of Rogue, or you've been behind Chromie Johns because they're still tucked up so close. And no doubt some idiot soon will be setting the fastest laps because he's lighting up the timing boards.
Some idiot's gotten that 2 seconds the first lap. He just has to do that 5 more times in order to get to Becky B, and then he's got to get past Becky B. My guess is the tire grip difference is going to be pretty pronounced by the time that happens. But Rogue and Terry battling it out on track right now. Terry's going to pull around the outside of the hairpin here. Let's see if he can keep enough speed to get the position. Stays almost alongside, but not going to quite get it done. Ooh, the AlphaTauri really cuts in, but nothing terribly unfair there. Terry sees it coming, backs off, slots himself behind Rogue. Let's see where he ends up going around the next hairpin here. Terry's going to be under pressure from Creamy Johns here in a second. We'll see where that ends up getting these drivers.
Yeah, those drivers are battling it out. Rogue, Terry, and Creamy Johns are battling it out essentially at the moment for a P3, a final podium position. They all nursing 3 seconds penalties. If I'm not mistaken, yes. Ooh. No, actually, I am mistaken. Creamy Johns has 9, unfortunately, seconds penalties, so he's not even going to be in this battle. He's only in this battle just for fun. He's going to be dropping out of any podium championship, or any podium chances.
That's not going to stop Rogue from trying, that's for sure.
No.
Rogue right on the back of Creamy Johns, but Creamy Johns still defending vehemently. Some idiot, again, second lap into his stint of 6, gets that 2 seconds. Now only 8 seconds to close in the last 4 laps of the race. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to the last lap for him in order to pass Becky B.
Yeah, what if somebody can throw a poll up in the chat there? Who can Becky B? Well, we'll say can some idiot pass Becky B by the end? But remember too that some idiot is having 3 seconds penalty, so I don't think Becky B might want to put up too much of a fight on the last lap, knowing that he would have to build a 3-second gap if he gets past.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't want to let some idiot get to him and force that mistake, or the corner cutting mistake that would garner him the penalty. That's obviously one thing he's going to have to be mindful of. Is Getstrom and Seajoss are going at it. There we go. Seajoss actually gets that done. Is currently up into 9th. Now another couple points on the board for Seajoss. Doesn't have the fastest lap anymore. Of course, some idiot has that on the fresh set of softs. Clean Shelby on a new set of softs as well. Going to try and get that fastest lap in. We'll see what he's able to do on those. But some idiot is tough to beat on that soft tire. He's got a lot of pace. Has gotten a 2 seconds yet again. Going into lap 33, only 6 seconds separate the top 2 drivers. Of course, time penalties will factor into there, so some idiot's really 9 seconds down on Becky B, all things considered. So he's got to pick up the pace just a little bit if he actually wants to be on that top step of the podium. Just for right now, he is only first in the running order.
Seajoss is going quicker as well. He's only 7 seconds behind Stoney. He actually just set the fastest first sector, so he's obviously trying to make some sort of games there. Maybe trying to pick up that fastest lap. Take it still that one off away from somebody. It's going to be a tall order. His last lap is a 1:16, so he's the second quickest driver on track by far, but obviously 7 seconds away from Stoney. That's going to be a tall order with 8 lapped tires, 8 laps of mediums, and let's see if somebody can bring this. Is running out of time. I think he just wants to get overtaking him on the track just for fun, even though he'll lose it back on penalties. Unless, of course, Becky B gets a penalty, then it's game on. You never know. We don't know how many warnings Becky B's on at the moment, but Becky B's not under pressure. She doesn't need to be pushing too much, but he is on 23 lap tires, so they might not be feeling the best.
Now Becky B just passed the back marker of Red Hornet, so now he's got a little bit of a buffer between himself and somebody. Actually, 2 drivers between him. He's got Shabam and Red Hornet, both McLaren drivers, separating that as well. Of course, they're not going to be able to hold some idiot up explicitly, but it just does take a little extra time sometimes to get around a back marker. So riding on board with some idiot, you can see he's really pushing that car to the edge, taking full advantage of all the space he has on track. McLaren driver gets out of the way quite nicely. He's going to go around the chicane. Some idiot's got pretty well planted, taking as much curve as you really realistically can on the exit of that chicane. Some idiot with the time advantage at the moment. Still 3.5 seconds with 4 laps to go. 2 laps. We'll call it 2.5 laps to go. Still on pace to get past him.
It's taken half a second out of that first couple of sectors. Not enough. Just not enough. Maybe he's chewed through them too much. Well, I can imagine there was 4 laps, but yeah, he's got to take at least a second out here. Well, he'll take a second. He'll take at least half a second out of this third sector. And he doesn't. He only takes 1/10. So Becky B's matching. Well, they got lap cars coming up ahead too. So DRS will be available, obviously, for Becky B. And some idiot. Let's see, as the racing point gets out of the way.
Yeah, just before that, Red Hornet had a nice pass on FNW, took advantage of maybe the blue flags out there, and FNW being a little bit cautious of entering that turn, got past him quite a bit, but quite quickly. FNW tries to take the fight back. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough to really challenge for the position, at least not this lap. Still needs to catch up a little bit. Some idiot going through the chicane now. 3 seconds separate him and Becky B. Really a total of 6 seconds as far as the timing sheet is concerned.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch him now. It's just that I think Becky B's turned it up a little bit and is matching. He's taking, yeah, he's taken just half a second out of this lap, so that's not going to be enough at this point. Mounted a nice little challenge, but yeah, perhaps he might have had to box earlier, you mentioned there, so he had more time to mount this run towards the end of the race.
Still, Rogue, Creamy Johns, and Thierry, a saga continues for these 3 drivers into the last lap as they go through Sector 3 for the second to last time. They're going to try and get some moves done. We'll see if Creamy Johns is able to get this pass done on Rogue. He's got the DRS advantage. Rogue is the only one that doesn't in this train. He's got DRS down this straight. Whoa, Creamy Johns really setting it up the inside, makes Rogue... it makes it look like he's going to send it up the inside on Rogue, but Rogue does not fall for it, doesn't flinch, stays planted right on the racing line, right where he should be, and doesn't allow Creamy Johns to gain an advantage from that. Thierry behind Creamy Johns is really wishing that there would be a third DRS sector right about here, but there is not. It's just the 2.
He'll get him, Kermit. He'll get him because the penalties. Creamy has 9. So Terry has 3. Now, whether or not Double OT has 3 as well, I think Creamy Johns has just definitely lost that position to P5. He might even lose to Double OT. That's going to be taller. That's going to be close. If Double OT can stay within 6 seconds, he has Creamy Johns as well. And that's going to hurt Creamy Johns in this championship, knowing that Becky B is about to win this race. And Creamy Johns is not going to finish anything further than P5. May even be P6.
Becky B crosses the start-finish line, goes first in the final order. Some idiot's going to cross the line, goes second. Rogue is going to be the next to cross the line, but with that time penalty applied, lucky that Creamy Johns has a penalty as well. Creamy Johns is going to fall down to 5th. Thierry is going to be up into 4th. Nice drive from him there. Double OT and Captain Hood are going to be the next 2 drivers to pass or to cross over the line. Double OT crosses. He's going to go 6th fastest. Captain Hood crosses, and behind him yet is going to be Stoney and Seajoss. Seajoss doesn't have to fight this battle too terribly much. Stoney with 9 seconds worth of time penalty. Seajoss is going to get by him quite easily, and Seajoss doesn't have to worry about Getchum behind him, which is 17 seconds behind. So Stoney and Seajoss cross the line. Seajoss is going to go up into 8th. Stoney falls to 9th. Getchum going to cross the line, provided no major mistakes here in the last 2 turns. Is going to cross the line 10th. Chaz is going to be the last driver on the lead lap to cross the finish line.
Getchum with no penalties and Becky B with no penalties, so that's a brilliant drive between both of those drivers, P1 and P10. There's no penalties here in Hungary. After battling it out, is an impressive job. You can't take away from Becky B. Had to fight that one back too from that little glitch that we had at the start there with Rogue, who took the lead of this race really early, but at the end of the day, Becky B says, I have this race win under the bag, and now I'm leading the championship.
Yeah, very nice race from him there. Some idiot driver of the day makes sense going from last to second. It's no small feat, no matter who's on track. Nice podium there. Congratulations to Becky B, then Some Idiot, and then Rogue, third on the podium. Unfortunately, I don't have time for interviews today, but to anyone that's stuck around and is watching, I promise next week we're going to do 2 giveaways. One of them will be that Assetto Corsa key Another one is going to probably be the choice of the winner. I mean, we've got Dirt Rally 2.0 up for grabs at some point this season. Grip Combat Racing, if that's your thing. Pacer, which is a newer one. We've got a copy of Kartcraft. Monster Truck Championship, NASCAR Heat 5. And, of course, Assetto Corsa. You name it. We've got it coming this season. So we'll go ahead and get 2 for next week. So I apologize that didn't work this week. We'll go ahead and get our technical issues sorted out and get it on the docket for next week. So go ahead and join us again. That's 9 p.m. Eastern next week. But the finishing order this race: Becky B, Some Idiot, Rogue, Thierry, Creamy Johns, Double OT, Capita Hood, C. Joss, Stony, Getchum rounding out our top 10. Chazaraz Gabi in 11th, 12th, FNW, Red Hornet, Shabam Shea B rounding out the 15th spot. Clean Shelby in 16th, Dr. Mashorty 17th, Mock Speed 18th, and Javier in 19th. Fantastic drive from our drivers today, and a really clean race overall as well. Might have had one incident there that would have otherwise triggered the safety car, but didn't quite do it this time. Really nice race from our drivers there. So that is where we're going to leave you tonight. I promise next week we're going to have a pair of giveaways for you. So tune in next week for your chance to win. Let's see, next week, I don't remember where we're going. But yeah, make sure you tune in next week. The Constructors Championship points will be updated, and it's going to get even tighter based on the results tonight. So be on the lookout for that. So without further ado, we're going to end it there. But Biggles, I want to thank you very much for stopping out tonight. Your presence in the booth is always appreciated, and we appreciate the work you put in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ppr Esports. Fantastic. Whatever cracker of a race there. Obviously, congratulations, Becky B. Somebody did brilliant drive. 19th up into second there. And Rogue, after leading that race there, making his way from 4th to 3rd is good. Yes. Thank you. I had the chicken too on the Ppr Esports jet that you flew me into Hungary, so that was delicious. So
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Enjoy the other half of the chicken on your way back.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right. Well, see you later. Check out ppresports.com to get in on the action in the booth or on the track. But that is it for tonight. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in. Thank you to our subscribers. And again, we'll be back with a pair of giveaways next week on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everyone.
No.